Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Council Chambers on this beautiful, but a little bit crisp, March 2nd day. As you can see in our gallery, we have lots of red, so that means maybe a little bit of fire that's happening in the community. You know, red's always a symbol of fire and passion, so I'm looking forward to that presentation a little bit later on. Members of council, there's an agenda before you. Administration, anything to add to the agenda?
Nothing to add, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you. And I'll ask Councillor Niebergol for the motion, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move that the March 2nd, 26 Governance and Priorities Committee meeting agenda be adopted as presented.
Thank you. Call the question. All in favor? Okay. That is carried. Moving on to number 3 of our agenda is the public input session. So this is the time that we allow residents and stakeholders to address council on anything that's not on the current agenda. Is there anybody in chambers like to talk to council on anything that's not on the agenda tonight? See none. Administration, anything submitted for council?
Through Your Worship, no one has registered.
Okay, thank you. So moving forward to number 4 is presentations and delegations. And with all these eyes, today we have a very special presentation. You get to watch the swearing of a deputy mayor. I don't think you've ever seen that before. So this is kind of something new for the kinsmen. Councillor Laurie, I was not present at the last council meeting as Deputy Mayor Meyer chaired the meeting, and the motion was to appoint Councillor Laurie as the next Deputy Mayor as of March 1st till the end of his term, which is 4 months. So I'm going to officially swear him in terms of make sure he can't get away from his job for the next 4 months, and we'll make it official. Councillor Laurie, if you can join me, please. Okay. So just want to thank Councillor Meyer for his past 4 months as Deputy Mayor. I thank you for covering some of my meetings and taking over some of the events that I was not able to attend. So I appreciate that. And Councillor Laurie, welcome as a new Deputy Mayor. Definitely your schedule is already filling up for the next couple of weeks. So hopefully you're able to take that. If not, let me know. We'll make some arrangements. And for those that are watching on the town's live YouTube feed or here in the audience, as you realize that there was no tar and feathers, that's all myth, that people share those stories. So that does not happen in the town of Stony Plain. It was very, very simple. Deputy Mayor, I pass the chair to you.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. I would love to take credit of my swearing in as Deputy Mayor for the large gallery we have this evening, because in 9 years that might be one of the biggest I've seen for a Deputy Mayor, but unfortunately that's not the case, as we have some wonderful presentations this evening. So moving on in our agenda to item 4.2, this evening we have a presentation from West Parkland Gas Co-op. I'd welcome you to please come forward with your presentation. Make sure you print your name on the sign-up sheet in front of you, and then when you're ready, you push the button on the base of the microphone. It'll light up red, and make sure you speak directly into them, as they don't capture if you're speaking away. Welcome, gentlemen. When you're ready, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Brock Palasic, General Manager of West Parkland Gas.
My name is Dan Tompkins. I am the new chair of West Parkland Gas.
Sorry, just making sure it popped up there. I'll let Dan start, and we'll just sort of go back and forth. We're just here to give an introduction to council. It's been a while since we've sat in these chairs, so we see everyone out and about, so we thought we'd make it a little more official. No, that's not it.
That's how you make things not work. Press the wrong button.
No worries, we've got our IT coming to help you guys here.
All right, so really, just wanted to start out by introducing ourselves a little bit more as a cooperative, making sure that you have an understanding just exactly where West Parkland Gas really comes from. A couple of important points go back in historical content for the whole organization. And when I talk about the whole organization, I talk about the whole province. The cooperative movement for the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops is actually a corner-to-corner establishment in the province where West Parkland Gas is one member of that whole federation. And so as you can see on the screen there, I'm not going to read this, but it goes back into about midway through the 20th century, which for some of us is almost as old as we are. But the big thing about it was that there is a lot of natural gas in Alberta, and part of that Alberta advantage is how do we get it to our people so that they could use it. And so back in the 1950s and going into the 1960s, there was a movement by the government of Alberta to move to the people that actually needed the gas. And so a cooperative movement was actually then founded at that point in time. And so with a cooperative movement, it's the members that are owners of the utility that then expand the utility. And so, as it says, I mean, part of the history of that whole, foundation really comes from the government of Alberta pushing forward to ensure that everyone in Alberta had availability in order to get natural gas. And so it's a big part, again, of our history, and the next portion then becomes our franchise area. The franchise area was established, again, back in the 1960s by the government, and it allows us then to have sole possession of those franchise areas for sole support, which allows us to ensure that anybody that wants gas then needs to come to the cooperative and be a member of the cooperative in order to move forward. And by doing that, we were then self-sustaining, which then brings us to where we are today as part of the cooperative. When we have a franchise area that also encompasses parts of Stony Plain as a special franchise area. But for the most part, West Parkland Gas has, a large portion of Parkland County as our membership. And so the biggest things that we try to do is reach out to as many people as we can to ensure that everybody has the advantage of having natural gas. So that's, as I say, the kind of the historical component in our franchise area that I wanted to get across. And from there, I'll move it over to Brock.
So Dan touched on a few things here, so we're just going to probably play catch up and hit fast forward on a few slides there because we're a little off script. So basically, as Dan mentioned, we have a special franchise agreement with the town of Stony Plain. So that was started as Stony Plain annexed into the county. So we're able to keep that relationship going. So West Parkland Gas serves the new Brickyard, Genesis on the Lakes, and basically anything west. We do have some territories to the east, down by like Boundary RV and south of town like that. But that's where we are. So our customers and our members both get our reliable service. They get our great pricing. The only real difference is that a customer in town can join our AGM, but they just can't vote or be a board member. They can still come, get all the information, ask questions as they choose to, but as not being a member, they're just not able to join the board or vote on finances or auditor. That's really the only thing voted on. So they're not missing out on much. Our vision, we are a socially responsible, innovative cooperative and are a recognized and valued leader in the community. Our mission, we are member-owned and provide safe, reliable, cost-effective, and community-focused services. And it is both for our members and for our customers in town. We value good relationships with our members, customers, community, and other stakeholders. We value fairness and equality through excellent financial stewardship. We value excellence in service provision. We value the history of the natural gas cooperative movement and the visionary thinking efforts of our founders. So being member-owned, we do have a board of directors. We have 9 board of directors. Currently, we're down one, AGM coming up in April, which all council will be getting an invite for as you do every year, so please come on out to Blueberry Hall. A lot of our staff, 24, give or take the day, live in town or Parkland County, and a couple in Spruce Grove, but we try not to talk about those ones. West Parkland Gas has a service area, which I'll show you a map. So we're about 1,260 square kilometers. We have 5,300 and change member customers. We do 40 to 50 new services in Genesis and Brickyard in town with just you guys every day. We replace around 10 kilometers of high-pressure pipe, which feeds the town to make sure that your guys' system for the town is running efficiently. Here's a map of our franchise. We've sort of cut right through Stony Plain. It gets a little more detailed in there with Assinger's Quarter and stuff like that in there, but we can just sort of skim over that. We also own a tank exchange in town. So we have about 25 tank exchange locations in the Edmonton area. In town, we have 4 or 5. Actually, we just started up recently, automated vending machine. Just one down the road at Red's at our office and one at the Chrome Car Wash there. So you can get our great propane at great prices for 24-hour service. So we're getting a lot of traction on that, and I know we have a lot of customers that'll drive out to the dump road there and check it out. Being a cooperative, we're involved in the community quite a bit. It started long back ago with just public swimming. We do free swim Sundays here in town, but we've moved on to a few other things. So we're involved in the parade every year now. We've won it a few times with some pretty wild floats in there. We started a tri-regional coupon book, so that goes to various groups every year. So last year went to Stony Plain Minor Hockey. We gave them $70,000 in kind donation there. We do emergency preparedness every week with local fire department. We have our meetings with them. We're actually just out and about quite a bit. There's only a few of us, but it looks like there is more. So we try to give back as much as we can, just following that cooperative value. And that's basically all we had. We want to give you guys a little time for a couple questions if there was any. If you're lucky enough to be on the west side of town, I know your service is great and you have no questions, but I can try to help you out with questions on the other side.
Excellent. Thank you very much for the presentation. I'll look to council for any questions or comments. Councillor Pletchko.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Mayor, through to Brock and Dan. Thank you for coming and making the presentation. I'm just wondering if you could clarify for our residents. I get asked multitude of times, how is it that you separate the town of Stony Plain residents from the county residents and treat the two differently?
So we're separated just due to our franchise agreement that's drawn up with the town. So there's actually the town border, and those are customers when you're in that town. So the only difference that they're getting is a $2 fixed rate per month difference. Otherwise, they're all treated the same. But it's that imaginary line where you guys touch the county and the county touches you, is that separation, because west of that line is members and inside that is just customers, because we're on a contract with you.
So if you would like, because I've been around for so long, the issue came in, again, because of the franchise boundary, like Brock said. And so there's our boundary or our franchise that was given to us by the government, and then there's a special franchise which we have with the town of Stony Plain. That special franchise, when we did set it up, we could only set it up through the government to have customers, not members. And so that was the defining point at that point in that, as I say, that special franchise area, which is the town of Stony Plain.
Okay, appreciate that. And just so you know, Brock, you do deliver great service.
I know you do.
I'm fortunate enough to have you guys on our end of the town, so thanks for being there.
Thank you. Mayor Choi.
Thank you for the presentation, and definitely appreciate the conversations we've had over the years. And as you mentioned, the first things that West Parkland Gas did was to sponsor the free swim. I think we had a chat about that quite a few years ago with Michelle, and the board saw fit to give back into the communities, and that has, as you said, continued to kind of pay dividends in our community. First of all, secondly, I'd like to thank you for choosing Stony Plain to build your admin offices. I think a few years ago when you had the opportunity to build wherever in this whole service area, you chose to stay in Stony Plain. I think that says a lot for the collaboration and cooperation that we've seen between the town of Stony Plain and West Parkland Gas, and hopefully that continues to go forward, so thank you for that. My question is, in terms of the tank exchange, you mentioned that you have outlets in Edmonton and area. So
Yep.
How many areas do you actually cover?
So we partnered with North Central Co-op, so we're at every one of their locations. So that would be St. Albert, Sherwood Park, Fort Sask, Edmonton. Stony, Spruce, so we're with them, and then we run our own individual ones, our office, Trestle Creek, some south of town. So we're sort of everywhere now. So yeah, we're into that 25-ish and growing cages, but just 3 of the automated ones at the moment.
Okay. And then just my last comment is, I've been around town long enough, and I do have lots of people out west, and their comments is the interactions has been stellar with West Parkland. It doesn't matter what the issue is. Your guys are out there fairly fast to address any issues that that may occur and that has occurred. So definitely appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
And I have a similar question as Councillor Pletchko. I do have property, and hopefully one of these days I'll get gas serviced by West Parkland Gas.
Appreciate that.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Mayor Choi. Councillor Niebergall.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Thank you, Brock and Dan, for the presentation. I'm on the dark side on the east, so sorry. But I just wanted to thank you very much for the presentation, and also just thank you for the involvement in the community. I don't have any questions for you, but I just wanted to say thank you for all that you do.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll just add the first question that I have for you guys to see in the presentation. I think you mentioned you had 5,300 members and customers right now, with over 350 in Stony Plain being in that western portion of town. Obviously, with the construction of the recreation center, the new school, the school site for the Francophone school, we're anticipating some significant growth in the western portion of town. And I'm just wondering if you can speak a little bit to that growth and West Parkland Gas' ability to service it.
Yeah, so when I first came on, we had this plan to see that growth coming. I've worked with regulated companies, so I've watched the South Forks of the Leduc grow and everything. So first thing we did was get a high pressure gas line that was in the vicinity so that we can make sure there is enough gas to service that area and more. So at the moment, we're more than capable to keep gas flowing to everyone there as the growth happens. I guess on average, the Brickyard's doing probably like a phase, so about 30 to 40 houses a year, depending how they're selling. Genesis has been booming in the last year as well here, so I imagine they're going to continue, but we'll have plenty of supply for all the residents moving in that area.
Excellent, wonderful, appreciate that. And then as well, just wanted to extend the thank you to you guys. You know, we've seen the community barbecue out there. We've seen you guys, I think it was making the hula hoops with the gas line and Emergency Preparedness Day, which is always a big hit and what have you. So just appreciate you being a great community company as well and being involved in Stony Plain. You might have some competition with somebody in the gallery with the toilet paper that they throw out into the crowds at Farmers Days, but I'm sure it's a pretty friendly rivalry. So.
I heard he won a trophy last year.
So absolutely appreciate you guys being here this evening, giving council and the public a good opportunity to understand who West Parkland Gas is and what they do in our community and how you guys contribute and give back as well. So thank you for coming this evening.
You're welcome. Have a great evening.
Wonderful, thank you very much. So with that, we will move on to 4.3 in our agenda, which is the next presentation this evening from the Kinsman Club of Stony Plain. So I will welcome your presenters to come forward at this time. I'll ask you again as well to sign in on the sign-in sheet in front of you. Our IT will help you load your presentation, and when you're ready, push the button on the microphone, make sure it's lit up red, and then speak directly into it. When you are ready with your presentation, if you can go ahead and introduce yourselves for those who may not know who you are, and if there's some other introductions you'd like to do, please feel free.
Good evening, and thank you, Deputy Mayor Justin, Mayor Choi, councillors, administration, and fellow community members. Thank you for the invitation to present this evening. My name is Jason Lavelle, President of the Kinsman Club of Stony Plain. Presenting with me is Kinsman Ed Burney, and running our PowerPoint is Kinsman Carrie Famuller. Accompanying us, as you probably see behind me, are members of our Stony Plain Kinsman Club. I would like to provide some information about Kin in Canada and the Kinsman Club of Stony Plain. Kin Canada is a national service association made up of hundreds of locally operated service clubs across Canada that make a difference in their community through volunteerism. February 20th, 1920 was our first Kinsman Club was formed. Since then, Kin Clubs have served our communities across Canada with the motto of serving the community's greatest need. Since 1964, Kin members have raised more than $50 million for cystic fibrosis research and patient care. When Kin Canada first joined the fight against CF, children with the disease often only lived to the age of 4. Today, Canadians live with CF and have one of the highest survival rates in the world. Half of Canadians born with CF today are expected to live into their 60s and beyond. Now, about us, the Kinsman Club of Stony Plain. Our club was formed in May 30th, 1979, and has proudly served the community since. I direct everyone's attention to the back of the room, where the club will unfurl a banner with the total of service to the community since 1979. At present, our club has 34 active members. In the past year, the Kinsmen have hosted or supported 17 events and projects in the community. A few of the community events that you may have seen the red shirts, serving at the Royal Canadian Legion Steak Nights, decorating cookies for the Westview Health Tim Hortons Smile Cookies, Acts of Kindness in September, providing gift cards to shoppers and local businesses, coordinating the Holiday Smile Cookies campaign in support of Tim Hortons Foundation camps and Christmas hampers, Kin Kindness Day in February, this year providing over 90 gift cards to shoppers at Red Apple Store, Co-op, Friesen Brothers, Safeway, and the 3 Stony Plain Tim Hortons. The Town of Stony Plain events, where we are happy to lend a hand, providing complimentary hot dogs at the annual Christmas tree light-up. Financial donations, along with loading and unloading the wagons and tending to the fire pits at the Family Fest New Year's Eve celebration. We are proud to partner with the Town of Stony Plain in hosting Farmers' Days. This event is one of the most looked forward to events in the Tri-Region each year. Due to the tremendous support of sponsors, volunteers, and the Town of Stony Plain, there is no charge to attend the grounds. The park and ride is complimentary. The activities at the Kids Corral are free, and there is no administration at the 160 vendor farmers market. The event is focused on being family-friendly. Aligned with that, the licensed area saloon closes Friday and Saturday evenings at 11. The Kinsmen thank the Town of Stony Plain for partnering to facilitate this wonderful event which brings the community together. Special thanks to the Pavilion team, the Public Works team, and the Community Events team, and all staffs in all the departments who have worked to ensure a successful event. Farmers' Days is the Kinsmen's largest fundraiser, with the proceeds being put back into the community. How the funds raised were put back into the community. In October, at the Community Champions Night, the Kinsmen presented 26 not-for-profit group charities and service provider with financial support. The same evening, several local students attended post-secondary education were presented with a $1,000 bursary. This year marked the 106th bursary awarded since 2007. Funds have also been used for capital projects at the Heritage Pavilion, Heritage Park, and the Pioneer Museum, and the Parkland Food Bank. Funds raised at Farmers' Days also support the club's largest service project, the Kinsmen Christmas Hampers. I will now turn the presentation over to Ed Burney, the chair of the Christmas Hampers, to update you on the 2025 project.
Thank you, President Jason, Mayor Choi, Deputy Mayor Laurie, councilors, administration, community members. The Kinsmen Christmas Hampers. Well, the area served by this project is from Veterans Boulevard, west to Range Road 32, including the town of Stony Plain and the Paul First Nations. To ensure all families are looked after, the boundaries abut to other groups that also have a Christmas hamper program. Registration is done through the Parkland Food Bank for the Stony Plain and Parkland County residents and through Paul First Nations Social Development, which coordinates with Paul School and Paul Health and Wellness. The food component of the Christmas hampers, this is the upsizing of all food hampers that go to the families visiting the Parkland Food Bank during the month of December. This is food and gift cards. The gift cards to upside the food hampers are purchased from Co-op, Friesen Brothers, and Safeway. This year, the total purchased and donated was over $70,000. Each food hamper also receives a family pass donated by the Tri-Leisure Center. Based on the family size, protein certificates of various denominations are provided to families for them to pick up meat products at Co-op until the end of January. The majority of the costs of these protein certificates are covered by the generous support of the Stony Plain Rotary. This year, the protein certificates totaled over $13,500. Gift hampers are provided to families that have children 17 years of age and younger. For families in Stony Plain and West Parkland County, the hampers are built at the Heritage Pavilion. The hampers built at Paul First Nations are assembled at the Social Development Office. For youth 10 to 17 years of age, a $50 gift card is provided to the parents to purchase a suitable gift. For children 10 years of age, donated gifts are used to make up the family hampers. Again this year, the generosity of the community ensured that the children received wonderful gifts. In addition to the age-appropriate gifts, the families receive puzzles, games, stocking stuffers, stuffed animals, crafts, and donated toques and mittens. Each child and youth receives a McDonald's certificate for a Big Mac or a similar burger. The parents are provided with gift wrap and Scotch tape so they can experience the joy of wrapping their children's gift. The Christmas Hampers is a service project led by the Kinsmen, but the success comes from the community doing so many things to help their friends, their neighbors, and their coworkers. Ways the project is supported: volunteers decorate the community, and the community purchases holiday smile cookies. Thanks, West Parkland guests. Residents donate gifts and provide financial support. Youth groups volunteer their weekends at Red Apple Store, collecting donations from November 12th to mid-December. The last Saturday before Hamper Week, the RCMP, Stony Fire Department, and the Kinsmen have a community at the Red Apple Store. Kinsmen and volunteers are at Safeway and Friesen Brothers on the weekends collecting financial donations and food items. Businesses have toy collection boxes and cash boxes in their establishments. Schools collect food, gift cards, and toys. In September, Ubaka holds a motorcycle run with all registrations donated to the Christmas Hampers. Businesses provide fundraising opportunities such as the One Man's Treasure online auction and caramel sales from Kick-Ass Caramels. The Atchison Business Association facilitates a Christmas donation drive. Century 21 Leading's Halloween Spooktacular donation drive. The U18 Predator hockey team holds a teddy bear toss. The staff and residents of the local Rehoboth home sew and stuff over 100 stockings for the children. The Toys for Tickets program. The Lighthouse Church and Boston Pizza supply meals for the volunteers. Tim Hortons supplies the coffee and treats for the volunteers. The Parkland County Social Club does events, and all proceeds support the Christmas hampers. And the Town of Stony Plains Staff Christmas Coffee Shop supports the funds donated at the location. All donations go to the family. Any supply costs to facilitate this project are paid for by the Kinsmen from the funds raised at Farmers' Days. So, the 2025 hampers, what was accomplished? We helped 550 local families, 1,800 people. 375 of these families had children under 17. There was 850 youth and children from newborn to 17 years of age. 480 of these youth were 10 to 17, and 370 were children under 9. The estimated value of the food, the gift cards, the gifts, the protein certificates received by the families this year was $250,000. The Christmas hampers only happens because of the community support. We thank the Town of Stony Plain for partnering by providing the Heritage Pavilion to make this project happen. In closing, I would like to share that many of the recipients articulated how much this meant to their family, and some got out of their cars, vehicles, even though it was minus 30 with a wind chill, to hug kinsmen loading the gift hampers and share that they were blessed to live in a community like Stony Plain where people cared. I can tell you firsthand that many of us needed a moment to compose ourselves as we received that wonderful and emotional gift of a heartfelt thank you or hug. A couple comments provided by the recipients. From my family to every one of yours, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate all there is doing for everyone that receives a hamper from you. May God richly bless each and every one of you. Bless your hearts. Merry Christmas. I appreciate everything so much. Thank you. That was from one family. And the second family, God bless everyone for making Christmas special for my family. When we get back on our feet, we'll be paying this generosity forward. The gift cards with the food hamper are greatly appreciated and really make a difference. We would now answer any questions to any part of our presentation.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for that presentation. Every time you come in chambers, what you show us is absolutely incredible. And I won't ask council if they have any questions or comments because I'm fairly confident everyone will. And so I'll just start off to my left with Councillor Loynes.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. As always, you guys are an inspiration to everybody in this town. What you guys do is incredible, and you touch so many lives within our community. It is great to see you out and about in every capacity you are, whether it's walking your dog and stopping for a visit, Tim Hortons, everything. Whether you're wearing your red shirt or not, you guys all stand out, and you make sure the community knows that they are a family, and I appreciate everything you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Namago.
My eyes are really sweaty in here. Thank you, Deputy Mayor, and thank you for the presentation, gentlemen. I'm going to try to keep this together. I got it, yeah. On the receiving end, I see families that receive these hampers and how that impacts their family and how the kids show up to school. So thank you. for people who are watching and people who maybe don't have an idea, how does one become one of you?
I was going to say, the president, you're on the hook.
Oh, there we go. Well, we are a club of men in Stony Plain, so we meet first and third Wednesday of every month at the Heritage Museum. If you want to reach out to any of us, you probably see quite a few of us out in the community. We'd be more than happy to talk to anybody out there. You can also look us up on our website. I don't have it in front of me. Stony Plain, or the Kinsman Club of Stony Plain, I believe it is.
Anything else? We'll go to Councillor Pletchko.
Thank you, Deputy Laurie. It's always tough to know where to start with a kinsman. You guys do so many good things within our community. And every time you come before us, there's so many more things that you're continuing to do. I think one of the things that's really, really unique about each one of you is how you give back to the community. And it's not just about today, it's about every day. I'm so overwhelmed when you come to council and we see a sea of red sitting in this council chambers. It's the support that you have as a club to each other that makes you very unique. And it's also the support that you give back to each of the clubs that you mingle with within our community that sets you apart. It just truly sets you apart. I don't even know what else to say other than, having you within our community. I think our community is completely blessed. And giving back to the tri-region that you do from time to time is a complete blessing to everybody within the community as well. Keep up the good work. Nice to see each and every one of you. And it's even nicer to see you outside of the council chambers on personal notes. I think that sets you apart as well as you have a personal connection to so many people within our community, and everybody recognizes that. So thanks very much for coming. We always appreciate the detail that you put into the presentation. And I think one of the first things I can remember when I got on council was some of the things Ed and I were talking about that you did in the council that you didn't talk about. And it's nice to see that you now talk about what you do because it's very recognizable and it's a substantial commitment to our community. So thank you for all that you do, guys.
Thank you, Councillor Pletchko. Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. It's a great thing about going last. Everybody's already said all the nice things. But I was thinking, actually, as Councillor Pletchko was speaking, the amount of, well, first, you guys are essential in this community, and having grown up here my entire life, you guys have always been a part of it. And listening to Councillor Pletchko, I kind of thought to myself, and looking at all the different organizations, you guys, it's like a glue. You guys are the glue that holds this community together, at least certain features of it anyhow, that growing up in this community, I know everybody appreciates what you guys do. So I don't know how else I can say thank you. You've heard all our other councillors, but thank you guys, and I appreciate what you guys do.
Thank you, Councillor Meyer. Mayor Choi.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And definitely thank you for the presentation. It's always great to see the Kinsmen out in our community and definitely here in our chambers as well. Maybe a question in terms of all the partnerships, the giving back to our community. Is there, how many different avenues does the Kinsmen have to raise those funds?
Our president has delegated to me. So if I understand, Mayor Choi through Deputy Mayor Laurie, we raise the money at Farmers Days. Farmers Days is our biggest community event, but it is our fundraising event where we get the funds in partnership with you folks to give back to all those 26 incredible groups and those 106 people who got $1,000 bursaries. That all came from there. We do have some smaller events where we participate. We're very proud to say that at most of those, we don't try to raise money for us. We may be in attendance, but we try to support other groups such as the food bank or any of that. And I guess you could say we leverage the red shirts to make other groups successful because we believe they are the key parts to our community as well. I didn't get a quick chance, I hadn't seen the banner before I turned, but I think there's a note on that banner of 170,000 volunteer hours. That's our community giving back that in these layers. So we're so happy to be in this community, but it's the community who help us to make every one of these things successful. So thank you for the accolades, but thank you to the community for always being there whenever we need a hand.
Okay. Thank you for that, and I appreciate the comment and the answer because it kind of leads into my next question. I think in one of your slides you had the Champions Night. I think it's a huge benefit for our community when our groups are working together and understanding what services are offered, so we don't have the duplication of services, spending money on top of money that's already been spent. I think that's a good. Just wondering how that went, and if there's maybe next year or future years of holding a Champions Night for our community.
I think it's internally one of the highlights of our meeting nights to have that Community Champions Night. When you can bring close to 100 people who work in our community to make our community what it is, and we can facilitate bringing them all into one room, the interaction, the co-support, the incredible information they share, the cohesive want to help our community is incredible. And somebody's president for another year and a half, and so I would think we would have at least 2 more. And knowing the vice president who is holding the banner, I'm pretty sure it's going to continue. So we really look forward to those community champion nights, and we also look forward to what we call it the Service to Community Evening, which is going to happen. It's not in any of our presentations, but we're so proud to get together with our friends with Stony Plain Rotary, Stony Plain Lions, Stony Plain Legion each spring to just talk about the good that all the groups are doing and have some snacks and just hear the good news. So that's going to be happening real soon.
Okay. Thank you, and that's just great to hear, and that our communities benefit from what we just heard, that partnership, the collaboration, and working together. Deputy Mayor, if I may, I think I mentioned this last time, but there is a photo there where it says, been seen serving at the Canadian Legion Steak Nights. And I see lots of kinsmen in red there. And obviously that must have been a very slow night because you guys are not serving steaks. Obviously you guys, I'm pretty sure that the turnout is pretty bad if you guys don't realize this. But I'll leave that there. I think I'd just like to tease you. And
Mr. President, do you have a rebuttal?
Mr. President is just laughing and smiling there. He's like, this is a flat steak. Round steak. Yes, so just on a serious note, definitely thank you for what the Kinsmen does in the community. I've been around enough to see the impacts through our community in Spruce Grove and also Parkland County. The model of serving the community's greatest needs is very fitting for what's happening and what the Kinsmen focuses on. It's kind of sad that we do need a model like that, but it's very uplifting that we do have community groups such as the Kinsmen that will take up the banner and charge into the fray and raise that up and assist those residents and our community members that need that help. So on behalf of the Town of Stony Plain, thank you for your work. As long as there is need in our community, we know that the Kinsmen will be there, and the Town of Stony Plain will be there to support the Kinsmen in any way that we can. Thank you. And last off, I think the banner says 1979, so congratulations on 47 years. And I would say you all average age is probably 60, so I'm not too sure how you guys got a banner. It says you're only 47, but my math is, math is hard. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Choi. Yeah, in akin to Councillor Meyer, I'm fortunate enough to be in this region my entire life. And my first experience with the Kinsmen was 35, 40 years ago, and was with the Kin and the Kinettes and through the Christmas hamper program. And one of the first memories that I have is actually of delivering hampers. And back then we used to, as youth sports teams, we used to help deliver those hampers. But what really hit home was when after Christmas, and we found out that one of our teammates actually received a hamper. And so it just goes to show that you don't know who in your community is struggling and who in your community who needs help. And when you look at the numbers that you guys presented today, it goes to show that that need is great. And we are so fortunate to have a group like you in our community. Because the banner was at the back of the room, it wouldn't have made the YouTube feed, but I believe it was $10.5 million over 47 years. That is incredible. That's not a small number by any stretch of the imagination. Not only that, but you show up. The Kin always show up. And in saying that, I think you had 34 members listed on your presentation. If my math's right, I think I'm good at it. I don't know about him. You have over 50% of your members here tonight. Well, there's only 3 of you sitting up front. That's a supporting cast that is huge. And I know that those who aren't here tonight probably wish they could be. But I know it goes so far beyond that, because not only are you 34 members strong, but you're one of the biggest rallying groups to get other volunteers engaged and involved. I saw one spreadsheet for the cookies, and my goodness, the names that are on that and the people in the community that come out to support you because of what you do for the community is incredible. You said right in the start of the slide, in regards to Kin Canada, it's made up of hundreds of service clubs, but I'd argue we've got the best, by far. I've had the privilege in this role over the last 9 years to attend conferences across this country, and one of the biggest things that gets talked about is community. And how do you keep community? This is how. It's not here, it's there. It's what you do. And that we owe a huge debt of gratitude. And I'm so appreciative and so thankful to live in a community where that is as strong as it is. While I know your borders run from Veterans Boulevard all the way out to Range Road 32, including the town and Paul First Nation, I think it goes to say your Christmas hampers helped 1,800 people, which if we think of the town of Stony Plain, that would be 10% of the town of Stony Plain. And we know the population density outside of the town boundaries and the rest of your boundaries isn't what it is in the town. And so I don't know the exact number, but I'd expect it's a much higher percentage than some people may like to think. Thank you is not enough. There just are not words that are enough to show the appreciation that is deserved for your group and what you do for our community and our community members. You are amazing community partners, not just to the town, but to all the other service clubs in this area. And again, thank you so much for what you do. We love hearing from you. I look forward to hearing from you again. After 9 years, it's a little easier to... So I do understand that I believe you have one of your social media representatives here this evening and would like to have a picture, so I'll just look to see if there's any other questions or comments from council. And seeing none, again, thank you all very much for showing up this evening. Thank you for being part of community. I think there's a final word that you'd like. Please go ahead.
Just want to thank you guys for having us tonight. Look forward to moving forward in the future with your support with Farmers Days. So thank you again.
Thank you so much. So with that, we will take a brief recess so we can do the picture that you'd like with the banner, and I think we'd probably like to shake a couple of hands as well. So we'll do a recess right now for that, and we'll come back in 10 minutes. Excellent. Welcome back. Again, that was fantastic presentations this evening from some great community organizations. It's always good when we see them in the chambers, and look forward to who we get to see at our next GNP meeting. With that, we will move on to the next item on our agenda, which is item 5.1, the Governance and Priorities Committee, February 2nd, 2026, adoption of the committee minutes. Earlier today, Council received notification of corrections to these minutes related to the referencing of the Manager of Planning being in attendance and to wording related to administration providing presentation for items 6.2 and 6.3. Therefore, the motion will need to be read as amended, which is as it is written on the board right now. I will go to Councillor Meyer for the motion, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I make a motion that the February 2nd, 2026 Governance and Priorities Committee meeting minutes be approved as amended.
Thank you, Councillor Meyer. With that, members of council, you've had the opportunity to read and review the committee meeting minutes from February 2nd, 2026. Are there any other errors or omissions in the minutes? Excellent. Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? And that is carried unanimously. Moving on into our business items this evening, we have one business item in the Transportation Master Plan update. Administration, I will ask you to go ahead and proceed with your presentation.
Good evening, Council. Tonight I will be providing an update on the Transportation Master Plan. The intent of this presentation is to inform Council of the work completed over the past few years in key focus areas and to outline the next steps as we prepare for the comprehensive update of the TMP in the coming years. The agenda includes a little bit of overview, including the vision and TMP framework, and a quick background on the current TMP completed in 2021. Share key priorities identified and progress made in the past few years. We'll also outline when we are aiming to revisit the TMP and why, and the next steps. To begin, I would like to briefly explain what Transportation Master Plan is all about and how it supports community. The TMP provides a long-term vision and connects land use and growth to the right transportation investments, ensuring roads, active transportation, and future transit needs are planned in a coordinated way. It also guides us prioritize capital investment so that funding is directed to the projects that best support community growth and safety. It also ensures that all modes of travel like drivers, pedestrians, cyclists, and transit are planned together so town can meet future mobility needs in an efficient and sustainable way. This slide talks about the vision. The Transportation Master Plan is guided by the vision and policy direction established in the Municipal Development Plan, ensuring that transportation planning supports the town's broader growth and development objectives. As shown on the slide, town's vision is supported by these 5 themes, which form the foundation of the town's planning and guided the direction of the TMP and its priorities. Together, these 5 themes ensure that the Transportation Master Plan supports not only mobility, but also Council's broader vision of building a connected, sustainable, and economically resilient community. Here is the overall framework that provides the basis for the development of the TMP. This included community engagement and establishing guiding principles to ensure the plans reflect local priorities and values. Also includes understanding the system, including land use, travel patterns, and infrastructure to understand where we are today and where growth is expected. Establishing the strategies including roads, transportation safety, and infrastructure management, supported by an implementation and funding approach to guide long-term delivery. This slide provides a little bit of background related to the current TMP, which was completed in 2021. through a structured process that combined technical analysis, community and stakeholder engagement, including input from internal senior leadership and council. The vision, objectives, and guiding principles helped ensure the plan aligned with the town's long-term growth strategy. The TMP set the strategic direction for transportation over a 25-year horizon, providing a framework to prioritize roads, intersections, active transportation, and future transit improvements based on projected growth and travel demand. Through public input, 6 main focus areas were identified, as shown on the left side of the slide, with trails and sidewalks, safety concerns, and traffic issues emerging as the top priorities. These community-identified issues directly informed and shaped the recommendations within the TMP to ensure the plan reflects local needs and expectations. The second phase of engagement involved administration and council through an online workbook, including a survey and interactive mapping exercise. This helped rank key issues and opportunities from a governance and operational perspective, ensuring the TMP balanced community priorities and technical and strategic considerations. Now I will talk about what we achieved so far in the last few years. Since the adoption of 2021 TMP, the town of Stony Plain has established traffic data program to collect and monitor speed and traffic volume data to better understand operational issues and inform decision-making. The transportation safety program has advanced through crosswalk improvements, targeted traffic calming measures, and in-service road safety reviews to identify and address safety concerns. These actions directly support TMP objectives to improve road safety, reduce conflicts, and enhance network reliability for all users. The town of Stony Plain also conducted speed limit reviews on local and collector roads in residential areas. The study identified locations where speed reductions are recommended and where additional traffic calming measures should be implemented. Major road reconstruction and rehabilitation projects were also implemented at various locations, mainly based on pavement condition data and asset management priorities. This includes sidewalk and trail rehabilitation as well. The town conducted pavement condition assessment for the road network in 2021 and 2025. These investments help maintain the existing network and extend asset life consistent with TMP infrastructure objectives. The town also focused on improving mobility by expanding active transportation connections and supporting regional transit service. Sidewalk infill, trail rehabilitation, and accessibility upgrades have improved connectivity between neighborhoods, schools, parks, and commercial areas. These projects support TMP goals to encourage walking and cycling, improve safety for vulnerable road users, and provide more travel choices. The town continues to work with regional partners to enhance transit service levels, improve access to key destinations, and support long-term transit readiness identified in the TMP. Together, these actions advance TMP objectives for a safe, efficient, and a sustainable transportation system. This slide talks about why we need to update TMP now. The transportation planning is not static. Our community grows, travel patterns change, development occurs in different areas, and funding realities evolve. The transportation master plan needs to be reviewed and updated periodically to ensure it remains aligned with actual growth, updated traffic data, land use changes, and council strategic priorities. Typically, a transportation master plan is reviewed every 5 to 7 years, depending on the rate of growth and development within the municipality. Regular updates help us remain proactive rather than reactive, allowing us to plan infrastructure investment in a coordinated and financially responsible manner. The TMP update will provide the town an opportunity to build upon reassessing priorities, reflect recent growth and development approvals, and set the direction for transportation investments over the next 25 years, allowing town administration to proactively plan for investments and guide community growth and change through implementation. Ultimately, refreshing the TMP strengthens implementation by providing council with an up-to-date evidence-based framework to support funding decisions and long-term infrastructure planning. Building on the points highlighted in the last slide, these are some of the consideration, or I would say drivers of the TMP update. Since 21, we have seen continued population growth, including new residential subdivisions, along with ongoing commercial and industrial development. This growth directly affects travel demand and infrastructure needs. Traffic volumes and travel patterns have evolved, which may impact how and where we prioritize improvements. In addition, updates to the MDP, strategic plan, land use bylaw, and area structure plan mean the TMP must be realigned to ensure consistency across all guiding documents. Finally, emerging technologies and evolving planning best practices present new opportunities that were not fully considered in the original plan, reinforcing the need for an update. Administration brought this presentation forward to Council as an update and requesting that it be received for information. A comprehensive transportation master plan update is tentatively scheduled to begin in 2028, aligning with growth trends and capital planning cycles. Updated traffic counts, development projections, and infrastructure performance data will be reviewed as part of the process to inform the scope and priorities of the next update. The TMP update will ensure transportation infrastructure keeps pace with community growth, land development, and changing travel patterns. Once completed, it will be brought to the Council for approval somewhere in 2029. With that, thank you, Council, for your time and attention. We are happy to take any questions.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Studman, for the presentation. I will look to Council for questions. Councillor Loynes.
Thank you, Deputy. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Just a quick question in regards to the comments about the speed reduction that was taken. It says you're currently working to update the speed limit bylaw and develop an implementation plan. That seemed very difficult to say, sorry. Do you have an update as to when we can expect that to come to Chambers, or is that going to be part of the full update in 2028?
Through Deputy Mayor to Councillor Loynes. Yes, so we are working on this 40-kilometer speed reduction, and we are aiming to bring the bylaw sometime within a month time in the month time. And along with that, we're going to be bringing up the implementation plan and how we're going to be, what the process we're going to be following.
Anything else? Thank you. Councillor Meyer.
Well, that was my question. Thanks, Councillor Loynes. No, glad to see the, and just for clarity, in a month's time, implementation, we'll be seeing the implementation time, or implementation plan.
Through Deputy Mayor to Councillor Meyer, yes, so it's going to be including the plan, how we're going to be implementing and what the timelines are going to look like.
Okay, terrific. So I won't ask the question again then, just thank you for the clarity. I do have another line of questions. I would like everyone just first to go to, it's either, yes, page 99. And help me just to understand, and I know this is a bit of a in-the-weeds question, so I'm not, but I'm looking to understand this, because certainly during, and sorry for the rambling question, but certainly during the campaign process, the intersection on the south side of town, Golf Course Road and 628 there, anyhow, in this map, it shows it green, which means it's hunky-dory. And then if I understand this correctly, it's future horizon, which is the right side of that circle, also says it's expected to be just wonderful. So why I mentioned this particular intersection is there's a bit of it has 2 lanes, and many residents in that corner at that, they have both problems with the safety. People kind of push it and time the light and rush past other people. There's a safety concern there. There's a speeding concern because it kind of forces people into a situation where they try and time the lights. And then, of course, for the residents around that intersection, they'll complain to you about the noise. And so I know that these are several safety type things. And so hold with me, because now I want everyone to go to page 130. And I don't want to jump the gun or whatnot, but, sorry. Actually, it's not 130, 129. Just it opens 6.0 transportation safety strategy. And in this paragraph, it talks about, well, first it says transportation safety was identified by the community as one of the top priorities. I'd just take a moment to point that out to everyone. I think that's still, we're going to find that's going to still be the case. But then as we go down, it talks about one of the last sentences there. It says, while a comprehensive safety study is outside the defined scope of this TMP, strategies to enhance the safe movement of people and goods in Stony Plain have been identified anyhow, so there's that sentence, which makes me think that there is a safety-specific look that we would be looking at. Now, going back to that intersection, reviewing the things that it says about there, it grades the intersection, I believe, on how much time a vehicle is stuck at the light, and another metric that I forget, but neither one of them are necessarily safety metrics. Would what this paragraph on page 130 at the bottom be referring to like a safety defined scope, a comprehensive safety study? Would that be what I would want to see looked at, so that that intersection was identified as a problem? Or will our update that's coming down the pipes look at that intersection and potentially identify it as, you know, further needs? I do believe that there are some other further needs. I think it listed it as signaled, but I think there needs more there.
Through the Deputy Mayor to Councillor Maher and all of Council, thank you for the questions. I hope you don't mind. I was just making notes as you were asking your question there. So I'm going to do my best to walk through all the points that you made there. And if I do miss something, please let me know. So I'll start off by just addressing the first part of your question, which was talking about the page 99 and what that is. So those are intersection levels of service. Those aren't necessarily, well, they're not indicators of what you're getting at, which is the overall intersection's safety. So what those indicate to us is, use a sign called the V over C, or volume over capacity ratios. So those are telling us how many vehicles are able to flow through that location with ease and without queuing up. It's basically an indication of failure at the intersection. When we talk about failure, we don't mean cars are getting hit. We don't necessarily mean that things are impacting, just that there are capacity issues with vehicles flowing through. At the time of the study in 2021 and the projected modeling that we do through these studies, that there doesn't appear to be, with the assumptions that were made at the time, to be any capacity problems. That doesn't mean, though, that there aren't more cars going through that location, and there could be developing new trends that you're identifying in your question. And I was quickly looking for it. I didn't find the page, and so forgive me, I may have to look this up later. I do believe one of the projects identified in the medium term in this plan is to look at a dedicated left turn lane within 628 that would allow for some of that traffic into West Era to go. That hasn't been actioned. I believe it's in the medium term. Again, that's something I can confirm later. I did try and find it real quick. The other consideration with that location that's a little different from some other parts of our network is we do have to work with Alberta Transportation on any upgrades within that. They do have, and this goes to the safety questions that you're getting at, there is a warrant analysis process that we can do. We do work with Alberta Transportation. We do have similar considerations, though they look at it, their standards and considerations are a little, they focus on different parameters and metrics than maybe we would. We do try and we make sure we bring these questions up to Alberta Transportation and make sure that they're heard and they're reviewed. They do have professionals that look at these things. We do trust what they're looking at from their perspective, and we do advocate for the town's interests when issues are brought by residents. Moving to the other points, the overall point that you brought up on page 129 and 130 about the safety paragraph, would absolutely agree with you. Safety, community safety remains a paramount concern, period, with any of our studies. And I would agree with you, that is not likely to change. What that paragraph is indicating, and it does, as you go down to the chapters, it indicates that it's not just one specific thing that we do for safety. We weave those things into different programs. And you've seen this over the years, and this was in the manager's presentation about we have a dedicated traffic safety program. We do have traffic counting, which informs decisions on to confirm what kind of issues we may have. We do weave other analysis and tools into different parts of our corporate plan and operational reviews to make sure that we're keeping up with things. So it's not just one thing. We do have sections that talk specifically about safety, but we implement them in different ways. So that was on my list. If I've missed something, please let me know. I hope I've been able to address the question.
No, thank you. Top marks for answering my rambling question there. Actually, I got what I got out of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Meyer. Mayor Choi.
Okay. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Just a question for clarity. I think this report was done a little while ago. So in terms of the community engagement, I'm looking at, it says number 6 was rail crossings at 1%. So this was done prior to CN doubling tracks. Have staff received an increased number of calls regarding the concerns at rail crossings?
Through Deputy Mayor, to your worship and all of council, just confirmed with the manager here, I don't believe we have any metrics here tonight that would suggest that I could properly inform council on. Anecdotally, I don't believe we've received an uptick in calls or I guess information from the community about that particular subject.
Okay, thank you. Hopefully get some information a little bit later on. In terms of the presentation, it looks like we're going along in a good steady progress. I think they mentioned by the manager that was the review is 5 to 7 years, so which is stated that 2028 will be the actual start of the review. So in terms of having to start in 2028, what steps does council need to make so that everything's in line? So we have maybe corporate plans, dollars put aside, enterprise systems, whatever, to get to 2028. So what do we need to do in the meantime from now till the budget of 2028?
Through Deputy Mayor to your worship, so the plan is as we have already identified priorities as part of the previous 2021 master plan, so we're going to keep continuing whatever different areas we are still need to focus. So we're kind of gathering the information in different areas, and we're going to keep prioritizing what we need to do till we reach to 2028, and by that time we're going to look into further reassess the whole thing and then go from there.
Okay. Thank you. I look forward to the coming years on council as the corporate plan unfolds to see where this is. I think 2028 is actually kind of a great time to be doing a updated transportation master plan. As we know, members of council, we have some exciting opportunities that are coming in our community. One is the recreation center that'll be opening here at the end of this year, so that'll change the traffic patterns as well. And also we have been doing a lot of North Business Park improvements that will also change the traffic flow and patterns within our community over the next couple years. So having this start in 2028 is kind of ideal. So after we see those big projects come in online, to see how that affects our traffic in our community. So thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. Any other questions or comments from council? Seeing none, I do have a couple myself. I'll start with looking at page 116, and it was the operational improvements and recommendations list. This is within the actual Transportation Master Plan report from 2021. Being in 2026, we are in the 5th year of that plan. There are a couple of key items here, some that were already alluded to, and I'm just a little bit concerned and questioning in regards to progress on plans. We have, for example, a short-term goal of 1 to 5 years is the signalization of the Highway 779 and Highway 16A westbound ramp, which also manages north and southbound traffic on Highway 779, and there is some significant turning risk and challenges there. Being a 1 to 5 year, I don't recall seeing when that actually would be coming to fruition. We've got things listed again with the Highway 628 and West Harrod Drive, adding dedicated eastbound and westbound turn lanes within the next 5 years is on there. And many others that are upcoming kind of in that 6 to 15 year range that we're not seeing much of. And so when we have this plan and we are in year 5 and we have these short-term high priority items that are recognized, I'm just wondering if you can speak a little bit to why we haven't seen them.
Through Deputy Mayor to all the council, thank you for the question. So there's a couple parts to that. As I mentioned in my previous answer, the town is bisected by several highways that are under the Authority of Alberta Transportation and Economic Corridors. We do share this plan with ATEC, and we do keep in dialogue with them on these priorities that we've identified. That's not the end of the story, though. So there is, as the manager mentioned, we do have traffic monitoring programs, so as a province, so we do link our data set with theirs and make sure that we're checking how the traffic flows are working. So that's one part. And what I'm getting, pardon me, I should back up. What I'm getting at is that we do monitor the plan for implementation opportunities. So as we're monitoring the network and as we're working with any external stakeholders that have interest in these upgrades, we do evaluate the cost and timing of any infrastructure improvements. That any asset or facility that's upgraded needs to be considered as to a timing of you don't want to do it too late, you don't want to do it too early. It's within a 5-year window for these things, for the ones that you've identified, and those would be ones that we would be looking at very closely again in an update. You're right, right now they haven't been actioned, but they haven't been forgotten either. It's that we're making sure that they're implemented at the right time so that ourselves and ATEC can work together on them.
Excellent, I appreciate that, because furthermore, when you look at page 117, every intersection that's identified in here is operational improvement intersections that intersect with provincial highways. Where that's incredibly important is we have the Minister of Municipal Affairs, Minister Williams, who has been very pointed about municipalities and their need to manage their infrastructure and go back to basics and the priorities. So I hope we're really beating the drum to the Minister of Municipal Affairs that we have plans that have identified these priorities on highways that are under provincial authority that we need improvements on because of the growth of the town and the economic development that we're seeing. Because if we're being asked by the Minister of Municipal Affairs to focus on infrastructure and our basic requirements under the MGA, I would expect that as the Highway Authority, we would receive their support on that. So I certainly hope that administration is working with them, and if there's any advocacy and work that's needed done from council on that, I encourage you to please let us know. One of the other questions that I do have, and Mayor Choi did allude to it, obviously we have some significant economic development expansion in the North Business Park. We also have the introduction of the Recreation Center, Westview School, which was opened after this plan again was in place, and so on, which both have significant impacts on our traffic patterns, volumes, etc. I'm just wondering if you can speak a little into that. We are looking at not even starting a review of this plan until it hits year 7, and then not seeing the new plan until it's year 8, which then likely means we aren't seeing any major capital improvements for at least another year. Like when I look at this, I'm seeing potential of 2030 and beyond where we would actually see any initiatives from the update to the Transportation Master Plan And as I spoke to, we already see a lot of initiatives that were mentioned in this one that we haven't got to. So with that expansion coming, with the likelihood of growth that we're going to see in the community, can you speak to how we are going to continue to progress on the needs of our transportation system in the town?
Through Deputy Mayor to all council, thank you again for the question. So perhaps how I'll answer that is pointing at page 124 of the document. So it does outline a number of future roadways and connections that we do anticipate in the short, medium, long-term, and beyond 25-year horizons. And we were just having a good dialogue about certain projects not being forgotten but not being actioned. At the same time, we also have a number of roadways that we're currently looking at, and I'll highlight 28th Street right now as a connection that is outside the 25-year that we are currently working with the province and a developer on moving along. So there's a number of things to manage in plans like this is understanding that there are occasions where initiatives and projects overlap, they follow the plan, and other times that we have to consider opportunities that are been put in front of us. Mayor Choi was just mentioning a number of growth, and yourself was just mentioning a growth in the North Industrial. So that does make us take a look at the plans and say where we have to turn our focus and maybe make sure that we're monitoring. We don't forget the other plans that are in the short and medium term, but we do have to on occasion pivot and take a look at how can we help progress opportunities in front of us right now. So it's a guide. It helps us inform decisions. It helps us make sure that when we're exploring those decisions that are maybe a little further out, what other implications we may want to have further involvement in because of the time and way that they're coming in. And it does help influence future updates, like the manager was saying, growth and other area structure plan updates, developer interest. Those are things that will be helping us to influence initiatives to council and ultimately in how we grow the transportation network in the rest of the community.
Thank you very much. And then I just wanted to highlight page 259, which was the presentation in regards to the transit system and what we achieved. And I just had some questions in regards to the transit integration. It talks about being fully integrated with the City of Spruce Grove and Parkland County, and then it also talks about expanded to include weekend service. I just wanted to confirm that we do not, at this point in time, have a truly integrated schedule, whereas we do not operate the same service hours, as well as that we do not have fully integrated weekend service because I believe we're only providing one day. Am I correct in those statements?
Deputy Mayor Laurie, through to the rest of council. That is correct. Spruce Grove instituted Sunday service for 2026. Stony Plain is not. We're evaluating that as we go throughout the year, seeing what feedback we're getting. They're reporting to us as they get feedback and requests for trips in and out of Stony Plain. And we'll be able to evaluate that and consider that as part of our next corporate planning cycle.
Okay, thank you very much. Just double checking my notes here. I believe that is all of the questions that I had because you did answer some of them sooner. Appreciate seeing this presentation coming in front of council. Appreciate the information, the ability to answer some questions tonight. I think there's still a lot of work identified in this plan. I do recall that this plan actually came forward and there were some challenges around traffic counts because of the COVID pandemic at the time. There were some challenges. The traffic counts were done during the summer when school was not in and so on and so forth. So I know when this plan originally came forward in 2021, there was a little bit of uncertainty in there. I think we still maybe see a little bit of that challenge with some of the intersections that were mentioned tonight. So I'm looking forward to using those learnings as we go forward in data collection and making sure that we have a really good data set that's taken from various times, maybe even over the course of a year, and understanding seasonal if we see changes in certain areas of town and traffic patterns. And as Mayor Choi alluded to, as we see some additional development come on, how that impacts the traffic patterns throughout the town. So thank you very much for your presentation this evening. With that, I will ask Councillor Loynes to make the motion for the acceptance of this, please.
That the Transportation Master Plan update be accepted for information.
Thank you very much. Any other debate, discussions, or questions on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? That is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. That brings to end all of the business items that we have this evening and moves us into council discussion. I will start with Councillor Palechko this evening, please.
Yes, thank you, Deputy Mayor Laurie. Just a brief note, had the opportunity today to raise the flag with the Francophone School, and it was well attended by the Francophonies. I think every grade that was there that is consistent with what's in the schooling today. And it was interesting to learn that they've got about 120 students there now from the 60 that they originally started with, and actually had anticipated somewhere between 25 and 40 to start. So they have grown drastically over the last little while, and it was nice to see everybody today. So that's it for me. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Councillor Lawrence.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I want to start off by saying it was cold, but it was wonderful to take part in the 5-kilometer walk for the coldest night to raise money for the food bank. We have a wonderful group of staff here that put together a team of superheroes, and His Worship, myself, and Councillor Meyer were able to attend with them and show our support. As well as on the weekend, several of us were able to join Spruce Grove in celebrating 40 years of becoming a city, and it was wonderful seeing past mayors and other elected officials from around the Edmonton metropolitan area celebrating with the city and showing regional support. On a different note, I'd like to mention that Sunday is daylight savings, so we get to spring ahead. Hopefully that means warmer weather. As well as on Sunday, it is International Women's Day to celebrate the social, economic, and political achievements of women around the world. This day also brings international awareness to gender parity. And as many months have multiple meanings for different things, I would like to mention that March is also Self-Harm Awareness Month, where we bring attention and awareness about self-harm, reducing the stigma, and encouraging help-seeking behaviors. And as a more personal note to myself, March is also National Trisomy Awareness Month. While most people have 23 pairs of chromosomes, some have a condition that either causes an extra or partial chromosome, and this can lead to a very rare condition. Some of them we know as Down syndrome. There's also Edwards disease, which is trisomy 18 and trisomy 13. These are health problems that can have learning disabilities as well and delays in physical development. Unfortunately, most with trisomy 18 and 13 do not make it to term. So I'd just like to bring awareness to that, and that is all.
Thank you, Councillor Lawrence. Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yeah, just to echo maybe the coldest night of the year. That was cold. That's why I only did 2 kilometers. But, oh, good. As well, yes, the Francophone flag raising. It's a flag raising event today. It was wonderful to attend. Lots of children in attendance. I'm sure they were pretty excited to get out of class as well. But sticking on our transportation master plan sort of theme for the evening, I would just raise a concern out for my jog along Oatway Drive. I know those people are looking forward to reduced speed limit zones for sure. And in fact, there's one lady there that I often kind of just pop in and anyhow, she was out working on her sidewalk, keeping it clean, good Stony Plainian, and I didn't even have time to take my earphones out of my thing, and she said, when are you guys going to do something about those people who haven't cleared their sidewalk? And then proceeded to point out a number of along Oatway Drive. If you go between Campbell Drive and Brightbank and sort of stick to the north side, there's a couple of particularly, apparently the individuals aren't around, so that's why their sidewalks they're never going to get done. Anyhow, so bring that to your guys' attention and just make a note that there are people looking forward to that 40-kilometer-an-hour speed reduction. I think that would be very good for Oatway Drive.
Thank you, Councillor Meyer. Was there
Nope,
a
that was
question? You were like,
just a
okay,
comment.
just a comment. Perfect.
Story, actually.
Councillor Nevigal.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I just want to maybe just offer a thank you to administration. We are on our journey of bringing our strategic plan to light, and so I got to sit through revisiting of it after we were away. So I just want to thank administration for the work that goes into that and entertaining all of my questions and comments, so thank you. Again, just a reminder, March 5th, if you are interested, residents, in giving some feedback about what's happening in the North Business Park, you can head over to Gulf Biz between 3 and 7 p.m. for some discussion. And then shout out for our corporate services. We have an update coming to our online service. I love the online service, so I'm excited about this. It will go dark as of March 8th. The current online service for taxes and utilities will go offline to then onboard our new fancy service where we can, track month-to-month usage and enhancements for that. So that comes the beginning of April. And then also, it was posted on the town's Facebook page today, the application. I'm not truly certain on how the uptake of it, but just the encouragement for residents that are looking at hosting something in their community to check out the application for some project funding from the town. And I think that's about that.
Excellent, thank you. I think that would be the placemaking grant and the facade grants that were available through the town.
You are correct.
Wonderful. Mayor Choi.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yeah, I just wanted to echo some of the comments regarding the coldest night. So on behalf of the town of Stony Plain, thank you to our team captain, Nancy. She works on our staff. She's been here for quite a few years now, and she did a good job of getting us all together and kind of walking. Donations are still accepted until the end of March, so if you want to log in, you can support the Stony Plain Superheroes, and that's soup, not super. So superheroes, that'd be great as well. And if you want to make your donation impact a little bit larger, there is a team that was there, and they were called Bankers in Blankets, and they have been, they announced at the event that all the money that their team raises, ATB Financial will match. So if you want to make your donation go a little bit further, I'd like to see you donate to the town of Stony Plain Superheroes, but to make that impact a little larger, the ATB Bankers and Blankets will be a good option as well. And then to date, the Coldest Night has raised over $86,000, surpassing the goal of 70 that they had set for this year. So congratulations, this is a huge impact, and thank you to all the event sponsors and walkers and people that have raised dollars for the event. Next, I just want to thank Councilor Lowry, Deputy Mayor, for attending the Parkland presentation just last week. Parkland County had asked us to do a presentation and provide an update on where we are in terms of the Recreation Center Phase 1. We had a good presentation, some very good questions asked by members of council, and definitely the town manager and I were able to answer those, but there was also a commitment to continue the conversation. So there'll be conversations with the three municipalities. So Councilor Lowry, which is currently Deputy Mayor, and myself, and we'll be meeting with the Mayor Chagas and their Deputy Mayor, and also then again with Mayor Acker and their Deputy Mayor as well, just to have those conversations of where rec is going, where transportation is going, and how do we work together as the three communities. I think we just saw here with the Kinsman and West Parkland Gas Co-op that community is best served when we do it in collaboration and cooperation and not in isolation. So it's good to see that both municipalities are looking forward to work with us as well. And just an FYI, this Saturday there's the annual First Responders Gala that's happening in the city of Edmonton. It is organized and hosted by members of our community, definitely first responders. So it's if you have the opportunity and you still have some time, there's tickets available. So that's the Alberta First Responders Gala. It's this Saturday if you're still interested. And also this Saturday as well, we have the Young Life fundraiser and celebration as well. I think that's right here in Spruce Grove. Again, Young Life provides lots of opportunities for youth in our community, so if you have the opportunity to support them, please do. And that's all my updates. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. A couple things for me this evening. The first is just a question for administration. Was noticing that our snow dump is getting quite full, which is quite a volume that's there given the snow that we've had. Just wondering if we have any type of an update. I think I had seen, I believe it was the city of Spruce Grove had closed theirs to contractors. They were only doing their own municipal services. Just wondering where we were sitting at, if we were looking at any concerns or if we had any challenges with managing that, or if we were still all good and in the clear for that this year.
Through Deputy Mayor to all of council. So you're correct, the city of Spruce Grove did close theirs. We also followed suit with limiting other external contractors from accessing our site. So right now, our teams are still making use of it for now. There's no concerns from our teams right now on that approach. The teams do keep a very close eye on the piles out there to make sure that they're manageable into the summer.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Outside of that, just a couple of notes. Again, very happy to take on the deputy mayor role for the next 4 months. As Mayor Choi mentioned, already quite a few calendars starting to fill up, so hopefully it doesn't keep me too busy. But I'm happy to do as needed. We saw the provincial budget drop, which will impact our residents in the education property tax. We did receive a little bit of information by email from our general manager of strategic services, and we'll probably see some more information, I would assume, in chambers and some communication out to the public here in the coming weeks on how that may impact and where they may see that on their fancy new bills, which very excited for, as well as the online system launching in Q3 of this year. Again, it was great to attend the Parkland County Council meeting this past week with Mayor Choi and our CAO, Tom Golden, giving an update to the county on the Recreation Center. I would encourage you to watch it. There's some very positive comments from the Parkland County Council in regards to the project, in regards to operational funding and so on. So looking forward to continuing those discussions with them on how that's going to look. And that is it for me this evening as well. So I will declare us adjourned, and we will see you all next Monday.